Got my space heater going, always, because it's cold in this basement because I live in Wisconsin. My dad's helping fix up this room in our basement. We're doing some stuff to it. But hey, Dad.
Yeah.
Why do you like living in a place that's cold?
Like Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Because I enjoy the change in temperature.
Well, that's yeah.
And living someplace where it's always warm is boring.
I don't know. It seems nice to me. I don't know. Cold is cold.
I guess I could always come to visit. I wouldn't have to live here.
That's true. So you want to move somewhere warm?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I've convinced you. Great.
Where should we go?
Hawaii?
Can we live there?
I mean, people live there.
I know, but can we make a living there?
Oh, well, I can do videos anywhere.
Oh, of course. I'm retired. I guess I could.
You could, yeah, you're retired. You mow lawns at a golf course. They have golf courses in Hawaii.
Yes, they do.
All right, boom, we're doing it.
Okay.
Good talk. I don't think he's really going to want to do that. So let's talk winter, guys. My whole life I lived in cold places except for the year and a half. Wow! We're very white, isn't it? Just like me. My whole life I lived in cold places. Lived in, no, except for that year and a half in Austin. China and I went, and one of the main reasons for going, aside from I liked the town, is that I could finally live without winter. It was my only year without winter was in Austin. And it was great. I remember February, seeing pictures of people I knew in Chicago and their terrible snow they were having. And it was just kind of nice. Although it gets incredibly hot in Texas. But I think I prefer extreme heat to extreme cold. Even though, you know. So I asked on Reddit, the beard lover subreddit, beard lovers are beard lovers. You may not have heard of it. We haven't rated any stonks or anything. But, not yet anyway. But I asked why do people like living in cold places? And a lot of people said they prefer, like, if it's cold you can just put on more layers and stay warm. If it's hot you can't take off your skin. And yeah, that's true. I mean, you could. I wouldn't advise it. But I still, even considering that, I think I prefer heat over cold, being very cold. When I run, I notice though it's harder to run in extreme heat than it is to run in cold. But I don't know. China's kind of the opposite. I think. I don't think China likes the heat, extreme heat as much. Maybe because I just grew up in it, but I know plenty of people who've grown up in this who love it still, who couldn't imagine living somewhere where there's no winter. They love the change of the seasons. I don't care. When we lived in Austin, I didn't care about the season. You still had a kind of fall and a kind of spring, but I didn't. I don't care about the change of seasons so much. There are things about winter I like, but I can't. You guys, it's cold, and I don't like. One of the main things I dislike about it is having to bundle up, having to every time you want to go somewhere, it's a giant ordeal. Like I have to put on, I have to make sure I'm wearing warm clothes, and then I put on my jacket and my gloves and my boots. I'm wearing boots right now. My coat, like when we take our dog out, every time you have to do that. If it's summer, just mosey on out the door. Leave the door open, mosey right out. Probably close the door because there's bugs. That's another thing people in the subreddit said, that there's less bugs in cold places. So I'm doing a main channel video, WheezyWaiter video. That'll probably be the next video, which will come out in March. which is going to be I think it's going to be called Why Do People Like Living in Cold Places? And it's going to be more, I think I'm going to do this is just straight up me talking about my feelings. No real research or anything other than what you guys have said. But that's going to be more research based, I think. I'm going to talk about, consistently, like, the World Happiness Report, whatever it is. I don't know how accurate it is, but they always talk about how Finland, Norway, all those countries up there in the cold places report like being the happiest, and there's a lot of reasons, not just weather, but those are cold places, and they're happy, and so many people here have decided to live here in Wisconsin and don't ever want to leave. And I moved back here. I didn't move back here for the weather. We moved back here because main reason being is where Ada's grandparents are, and we wanted to buy a house. I just kind of got the hankering to buy a house, and Madison is a great city. I love Madison, and it's an affordable place for us to buy a house and be relatively close to a downtown that's very cool, and also be near Ada's grandparents. And it's a place that I grew up in, I know. So that's why we came here, despite winter. But I did make a little list here of things people said about why they like winter. So that main channel Wheezy Waiter video is going to be more research based, obviously more edited. But this is just kind of what people said. And where is that darn? I had the list up. I had to take my gloves off, and now my hand's getting cold while I open this up. Okay, why do people like winter? Cheaper. I don't know how true that is necessarily, but several people said cheaper living. Like you can probably buy it's probably cheaper depending on how you heat your home than having to air condition your home all year round. Depending on a lot of things, whether or not it's cheaper to live in a cold place tends to be more desirable. People have more desire to live in warmer places, more temperate climates, or warmer or just medium all year round. So that's a reason it could be cheaper, but that's not necessarily going to be true. But yeah, I guess that's a reason. If your only motivation is money, I think it's a worthy motivation, but I don't think it's usually people's only motivation. Winter sports activities, yeah, sledding is fun, skiing is fun, except in 8th grade when I skied down a hill and fell, and the back of the ski hit my head, and I had a big gash and my head was bleeding and I had to get stitches. Otherwise, skiing is fun. Don't really do it very much. I went with China. So I skied in 8th grade and I had that injury, and then I hadn't skied until a few years ago. China and I went somewhere in Wisconsin, and I had a pretty good time. China didn't really enjoy it very much. I think she was a little bit scared by the whole ordeal. Shoot, I shouldn't be walking around so much. I'm making you dizzy, aren't I? Sorry about that. I just like to walk and talk. But yeah, obviously winter sports. If you're into winter sports, you gotta have winter, and that makes sense. That's not necessarily for me. Then you got experience seasons, appreciate them more. Fine, I guess. That's never been something I cared that much about. You can travel to a place to visit, to have seasons, like my dad said. And so in theory, like the beginning of winter, when it comes around, it's like, and fall I like autumn, but like when winter comes around, it's like, oh, the snowfall, it's so pretty. Oh my gosh, Christmas is around the corner. It's gonna be great. 5 months later, and you're trapped inside, and the days are like 2 hours long. It really wears on you. It's fun to visit winter, but to live in it for months and months, not for me. Not for me. But I understand. I understand if you like it. It is pretty. It does look nice. It's kind of cool to be in this weird whiteout winter wonderland. But I don't know, after a little while out here, I'm like, okay, I experienced it, I'm done. Let's go to the spa. Then you got, I'm just being a curmudgeonly old man, aren't I? That's fine. People say you can add layers. You can't take layers off. We already talked about that. It's beautiful, sure. It's fun to look at for a second, but then it also gets slushy and muddy and gross. The first snowfall is great, but then when the snowplow comes and the driving and the walking around and stomping it down and it turning into ice, and then you have to worry about slipping on the ice. That's another thing, walking around with the dog, like worrying about several times. I'm like, whoa! And then driving is dangerous. It's very dangerous in the snow. Hate driving in the snow so much. But yeah, it's pretty at first. And then it gets muddy and gross and slushy. Especially like the end of winter, it gets real gross, you know. And then what you got? Less bugs. Not. That's something people have said, having less bugs. But during winter, yes, less bugs. But I don't know if they meant during winter you don't have to deal with bugs, or if they meant all year round you don't deal with bugs because you're in a place that has winter. That's not true. Like Wisconsin has tons of bugs in the summer. So I don't know about that one. Let's take a little break here, and we're gonna have a word from our sponsor from Inside Craig. Take it away, Inside Craig. Thank you, Outside Craig. You ever say to yourself, I wish I was better at math and science and computer science and one or more of over 60 courses, and I want to solve problems, math, science problems, and I want them curated for me by lifelong learners from places like University of Chicago and Caltech and Duke, people exactly who these people are. I want learning that excites, cultivates curiosity, is active, is applicable, is community driven, doesn't discriminate, allows for failure, and sparks questions. Do you say that to yourself verbatim? That's amazing, because Brilliant.org is all of those things. They elevate math and science from something that is fearful, math and science, scary, to a delightful experience guided by discovery. Delightful, guided by discovery, that is enjoyed by students, professionals, and science enthusiasts all over the world. I'm a student, a professional, or a science enthusiast from any part of the world. They have tons of different content. Look at this. You got your logics, your computer science fundamentals, your introduction to neural networks, your mathematical fundamentals, and well, all of this stuff. Machine learning, special relativity, scientific thinking, programming with Python, casino probability, cha-ching, cha-ching, quantitative finance, cha-ching, cha-ching, quantitatively, even quantum computing. I could realize my dream of traveling through time accompanied by a hologram named Al. That's a TV show. It's not just about memorizing formulas and just plugging in numbers for each question. It's about learning basic concepts and applying them, using your intuition, not your intuition. I had fun starting the number theory course. For instance, I learned, 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5 times 6 times 7 times 8 times 9. Because there's a 2 and a 5 in it, I know now that it definitely ends in 0. Didn't know that before. Baltimore Raven Ray Lewis, I don't know how old he is, but there's a 2 and a 5 on him, so it ends in 0. Let me check, actually. It says he's 45. I'll notify Brilliant.org. Go to Brilliant.org/WheezyWaiter and sign up for free. The first 200 to click the link and sign up get 20% off their annual premium membership. First 200, that's 1 times 2 times 50 times 2. 200. Seriously, you can just start getting better at science and math and many things for free right now, or 20% off the premium. So, what are you doing? Well, you finish watching my video first, because that might help you as well in some way. I don't know what I'm going to say. Take it away, Outside Craig. Thank you, Inside Craig. You look very cozy. Then you got feeling tough, surviving adversity. Yeah, you get that feeling of like, yeah, man against nature. You're out here. You got nothing on me. Look, I got my technology, and I got my advanced armor that I'm wearing to fight against the cold, and go hunting for my. I went hunting for 3 years. I went deer hunting. straight. Like I stopped. Like I went during the season each year. I didn't like go the whole year for 3 years. No, you know what I mean. Deer hunting with my dad. And I kind of liked it, but looking back, I just kind of remember being very cold. At first, it's all right, like you got your boots on and your gloves, but after a while, the cold gets in there, and then your toes start to get really, really cold. But yeah, I guess there's a cool element of like feeling like you can, like you're out battling the elements, like a caveman, cave woman. I don't know. That's something people said, and I guess it's true, but it's not something that appeals to me that much. Cozy feeling. Someone said, now I think this is kind of true. There's a special kind of coziness you have after coming in from the cold and you curl up with your hot cocoa with whiskey in it, probably, for me. And, or tea or hot toddy, with a blanket and next to the fire. We don't have a fire, but a heater, whatever. And the snow is blowing and the cold is bristling all over the outside while you are in there when you're in your blanket. There's a special kind of cozy feeling of warming up, thawing out from the cold that you don't get if you just live in a warm place. I think someone said that they can't feel cozy like they can being in a cold place. And yeah, I guess that's true. But that's just like you're thawing out because you were so horribly cold before. And I don't know. You're just creating adversity to make life interesting. I suppose that's fine. Personally, I'm always of the attitude that I want to eliminate discomfort as much as possible at all times in my life. That's just how I operate, how I'm wired. I just want to eliminate problems all the time. That's usually my goal. And having cold just so I can have something to fight against is not necessarily for me. Now I realize I'm complaining a lot about living in a winter cold place, and I've done it. I've lived in it my whole life, and I still do. And I moved back to a cold place. I'm not unhappy. I love our choice. I don't regret our choice of where we live, where we've decided to live. I knew what I was getting into. I'm used to it. I'm trying to understand why people like it, and if it's really. If a lot of I think there's genuine reasons to like it, but I also think it's just because a lot of it might come down to it's just what you know. It's what you've grown up with. It's how you see how the world works, and any possible downside to it is kind of you come up with reasons to justify it. I think that there's some of that going on. And this is just who I am. I just like looking at these things as honestly as I can and as objectively as I think I can look at them, and I try to get to the bottom of is winter really good as people say it is, or is it truly awful and we're lying to ourselves, you know? And if we're lying to ourselves, fine. That's fine. Do what you do to enjoy life. I just like to try to figure it out. Okay? That's just who I am. Kind of a jerk that way. Dark beer tastes better in the cold. Yes, that is true. I found myself craving darker beer more so in the cold, and I love dark beer. So, but I also will enjoy it in warm weather as well sometimes. But it is true, I think, that dark beer tastes better in the cold. But is that a reason to live in the cold? Like, I want to enjoy dark beer, but I don't enjoy it right now, so I better go live in winter to enjoy dark beer? I don't know. I don't know. But it is a true thing for me. I don't know why. It's not warmer. Dark beer isn't warmer. Alcohol in general actually makes you feel warmer. Feel like you're warmer, but actually reduces the warmth in your body. Did you know that? I remember reading that at some point for one of these videos, probably. Why I read it. So you're actually lowering your temperature, but you feel warmer when you drink alcohol. And warm beer, or dark beer, warm beer, that doesn't sound great necessarily, but dark beer, I don't know why it's better in the cold. Maybe because, maybe dark beer, just speculation here, maybe dark beer cools down or warms up quicker, or it doesn't taste as good as it gets warmer. And so when you have cold weather, it stays cold longer, but you're usually drinking it inside, so that probably isn't true necessarily. I don't know why dark beer. That's a good thing to research, I guess. Why do people think dark beer tastes better in the cold? Someone said they like their alone time outside in the winter. Like you get up and you go for walks outside, and if you're an introvert, they said they were an introvert, and they walk around and there's less people outside, and they enjoy that calm, that peace, being outside in the winter. You can find that in summer and in warm places, but yeah, it is true that it's more likely to find it in wintertime. And this is kind of nice. Yeah, listen to this. There were periodically times they'd be playing over there outside, which is fine also. But right now it's just me right now. There might be people looking at me in windows that I don't see that are like, what the hell's this guy doing? Oh, there's my daughter. She's looking at me. Hi. She's probably wondering, what's this guy doing? Or maybe she's thinking she wants to come outside. She doesn't seem to want to go outside that much during the winter, which I don't blame her. I have to adjust something on there. Okay. Also, I have asthma, and it typically, growing up, was worse in the cold. So that's an obvious reason why I don't like winter. Hi, she's still waving at me. She said, hi, Dada. Hi, Ada. Obvious reason I didn't like it. My asthma doesn't really bother me as much in the cold anymore. I have better medication for it. So that's not necessarily a factor. But growing up, I guess it was. Anywho, just a discussion about why I like winter. To me, it seems a little odd. Because cold is... It's cold, you know? Cold is cold. It's very cold. Especially, like right now it's 18 degrees Fahrenheit out here. Which Celsius is, I don't know. But with wind, feels like 10. Being out in it. Like, I'm actually, surprisingly, I feel pretty okay right now in it. But, it can get colder. It can get to a point where it hurts to be out for a few minutes. And we generally don't go outside as much during the winter. And the days are so short. You wake up, it's dark, it's like 5 o'clock, it starts getting dark. And it feels like we're doing nothing. It feels like nothing happened for the day. And the reason we don't go out probably is just because it's like an ordeal. You gotta not only put on our clothes and stuff, we gotta put on our coats and stuff, we gotta put on Ada's stuff, and she generally, like, we're like, you wanna go outside? And she's like, nah, probably because she knows that she has to go through that ordeal. But when you're in, like, the times I've spent in LA or Texas, it's so nice to be just like, yeah, I'm wearing a t-shirt and just walk outside, walk inside. No large transitional stage. You just like seamlessly like, yeah, I want to go outside. All right, outside. Boom. Here we go. World. Here's my body. It feels good still. Walk inside. Hey, I'm inside. Didn't change a thing. Took my shoes off because I don't want to mess up the floor. But other than that, great. You know? And I like that life. Winter, it's like, oh, you want to go outside? Oh, give me 20 minutes. But if you like winter, I understand. If I can convince my parents to move somewhere warm, which I don't think I really did, maybe we'll do it someday. I don't know. As Ada gets older, she starts going to school. I don't think we'll move then. Also, it's a good city. It's got good schools. It's affordable. It's there's good reasons to be here other than weather. My eyes watering. Can you see that? My eyes water in the cold. It doesn't even have to be that cold for my eyes to water. But they do. People have accused me of crying sometimes in videos when I'm actually it's just the cold. The wind and the cold. Hey Dad, you still, now that you've thought about it, you still want to move somewhere warmer?
Well, yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Why is that no?
Because you've lived your whole life here and you've never
Had any
any inclination to move? Or any indication that you wanted to?
Well, everybody's here right now, so why would I want to move?
Yeah, I suppose.
But, you know, we are going to go away for a month or two.
Oh, really?
Yes. We're going in 2022. January, February. We're going to
Gulf Shores. Gulf Shores.
Yes.
That's right. We have plans for that. Wow.
And then
I can't wait.
If we like it.
Seems like it's right around the corner.
Yeah, and if we like it, maybe we'll think about moving somewhere where it's warm.
All right. Well, maybe we will. Anything else you want to say at the end of my video?
Get drunk.
In character. Good. Thank you for watching. I do these kind of videos every single weekday on Patreon, and these videos every Monday right here, because it's Wheezy Monday. There's a playlist on the screen, and wherever you choose to live, I'm sure you have your reasons, and I respect it. But cold places, they're not necessarily for me, yet I live in one.